Well, some breaking news this hour. Edmonton's Pride Festival has been canceled.
Global News has obtained an email from the Pride Festival Society where the board of directors voted to cancel the festival. In the email, they wrote that the current political and social environment would lead to an unsuccessful event. Global News has reached out to the Pride Festival for comment. We'll have the latest on this developing story online and, of course, on Global News at 11.
As we first told you last night, Edmonton's Pride Parade and Festival are canceled for this year. We've learned it's all because of infighting and concerns over safety. But as David Owasik reports, two groups at odds with the society say it's about a lack of inclusion.
Last year, Edmonton's Pride Parade halted by protesters who successfully excluded police from taking part. This year, organizers of the Pride Festival are canceling the parade altogether, worried about safety. It comes after recent infighting. Two groups gave the society demands, one board member only speaking anonymously for fear of retaliation.
Every time we try to sit down and have a conversation, we're met with another list of demands.
The two groups, called Shades of Color and Rarica, claiming the Pride Festival Society is not inclusive for people of color or refugees or the Indigenous in the LGBTIQ2S+ community. A spokesperson for Rarica says one of 7 demands a written apology.
Asking them to apologize of what they're doing, asking them to write a statement acknowledging and unlearning what they are doing.
And another demand that the two groups receive $20,000 each for their advocacy work. One man who calls himself a longtime human rights activist who just happens to be gay says the situation is embarrassing and unfortunate, and he wonders why all sides couldn't have worked together instead of all or nothing demands.
I don't see any of the names of the protesters on any of the boards or committees of any of our organizations. So work with us.
Former city councillor and past Pride board member Michael Fair says there needs to be an understanding the community is now more diverse, but understands why the parade with those safety concerns isn't going forward.
I think the community and the parade have always stood for working well, everyone being safe, having a good time as well.
A view not shared by those claiming their own community doesn't recognize the continuing struggles of some.
It's Pride, Edmonton Pride Festival. You know, Pride has always been a protest.
David Owasik, CTV News, Edmonton.
It's less than 2 months before the scheduled start of Pride Week. Edmonton's Pride Parade has officially been canceled by its organizers. Sarah Krause has been chasing this story and joins us now with more. And Sarah, tensions have been building around the Pride Festival lately.
Yeah, that's right, Quinn, but not from external pressures, but rather internal ones. Now, in an email obtained by Global News, Pride Festival organizers wrote about a heated meeting last week between its members and other LGBTQ groups called Shades of Color and RaricaNow. Police ended up being called when the disagreements became heated. Now, last year's Pride Parade ground to a halt after demonstrators blocked the route, demanding that police, RCMP, and military members be banned from marching in future parades. Organizers agreed to the demands, but conversations have been ongoing since. Today, though, another leaked email broke the news that the Pride Festival is being canceled. That means no parade. In part, that email reads, quote, "It has always been the goal of the Edmonton Pride Festival Society to host a safe and enjoyable event that is as reflective and encompassing of the entire community as possible. However, given current events, we do not feel that this is attainable for this year." In the hours that followed, the outcry was swift.
It certainly is disappointing. Times change, different people involved, there's additional kinds of issues. It certainly speaks to the diversity of the community these days.
We never ever asked for the festival to be canceled, and it's hurtful, and we're upset, and we do feel for the community because the community does need this.
With the amount of hate and homophobia going on, I think we can't run and hide right now. We need to be upfront. We need to have a bigger pride. We need to have a bigger parade, and we need to come together.
It's very unfortunate that it's got to this, and I hope that people still continue to support the other events that are going on, whether they're here or so many other straight venues in the city that are very supportive allies of the queer community, and that when Pride gets back on course, that support and attendance returns.
Evolution Wonder Lounge will continue to put on its events in June that were originally supposed to accompany the parade, including guest DJs and drag queens, as well as a community festival downtown. This isn't the first time the Pride Parade has been canceled. Back in 2002, organizers called things off on short notice, but then the community rallied to make it happen anyways. Whether or not that will be the case this year remains to be seen. Quinn?
All right, thank you, Sarah.
They were put in an impossible decision.
Ron Byers, soon to be 65, has been fighting for LGBTQ rights most of his life. This year, he won't be watching the Pride Parade.
Very sad.
The Pride Festival Society canceled the parade and its other events, citing safety concerns. A board member spoke to Global News, fearing backlash. He did not want to be identified.
There's a huge potential for protests again this year, and there's so much anger going around that we can't not address that there is a fear of violence.
We can't feel safe. We can't enjoy Pride knowing the police are here.
Last year, a protest during the Pride Parade, organizers agreed to not allow police to participate this year, but it says it could not meet other demands from two groups, RaricaNow and Shades of Color, including a call for a protest to replace the parade.
They asked for each group to receive $20,000 a year in funding from us.
We definitely made demands, but they were negotiable demands.
Shades of Color says it has been trying to be heard for months. Tension has been building. At a recent meeting, the police were called.
Who taught them to be afraid of us? You know, we have been trying to sit at the table peacefully with them for months now, you know, and if anyone's going to be violent, it's going to be the hate groups that show up.
So I'm disappointed.
The mayor says this is not a reflection of an unwelcoming city. He says pride groups all over are struggling to determine what is inclusive to everybody.
I have some sympathy for what the Pride Board was dealing with. Ultimately, it's their decision. You know, we'll support the community to find a resolution and find some healing and find a path forward.
Other Pride events in June are still going ahead.
It's not Pride is canceled.
Ron Byers will be there. Kendra Slogoski, Global News.